had some requests to show a little bit more about what I'm doing for putting this countertop on in place. Right now we have it set, we have it glued. I think we've shown a little bit about that. My glasses are fogging up. So these are fastened together with biscuit joints right here. I have 2 more pieces that need fastened on with biscuit joints. So a little bit later I'll show that. What I'm doing right now is fastening it down, and I have 2 ways that I'm doing that. And I'm going to show you one of the ways right now. You see this corner brace right here. I fasten it in here and then I screw it to the countertop there. And then we also took these little 2-inch braces and put in here to add just a little bit more support to keep any type of movement from happening. Now I had to bring it pretty close to the side. I believe I got it close enough. Still had to have it out of way so that I could work with it, but close enough that when we do the sink cutout, we won't be bumping into it. If we do, then I'm just going to have to move it over to make it work. But I've done this in a few places that were strategic. While I'm here, I want to show what else we're going to be doing. You see the 2x2 up there that's up against, or at least up to the top and close to where the countertop is. What I'm going to do is use that as a place for screws to go into. So I'm going to drill holes in the countertop from the top, little guide holes or starting holes so that I don't split or cause problems with the wood. Put the screws through that, but countersink them so that the head of the screw is below the surface, and then put some wood putty and we'll be able to sand that and whatever we need to do to make it look right. But that will anchor it down. I will show how that's done, but I wanted to show this part so that when we show the other part, then we've already got footage for this so you know what to expect. What we were looking at is the cabinet for the sink. That's where we have it fastened there. And then this cabinet here is one more place that we can fasten it that way. So I'm going to show the process of putting those braces on. Obviously I don't need the little 2-incher to go in there because I'm not holding anything together, but I have the corner braces in place right now already inside the cabinet, and I'm going to show you what I do to get the countertop ready for them to fasten down to it. I have a drill here. I would prefer to have something a little bit smaller, but then again I also need the power to make this go, but any drill is going to work. I have a bit that's smaller than my screws. I'm just doing a pilot hole for the screws to get them started. That way when I'm under here screwing them in, and I have to do it by hand, I don't have anything that I can work under here very easily to accurately get them in place. I said braces. We're just doing one brace, and we're actually doing it right here. It's not inside the cabinet. We had talked about doing it inside the cabinet. We changed. I now remember that. It's tough to keep up with things on here because we keep looking for a better way to make things happen, and this is what we've done here. So let me show you this brace. So we're actually in this piece right here where we're going to be putting a something. Yet we've talked about a lot, but we don't have it specified. So there's the brace right there. It's fastened under the cabinet, and then it's got the 3 holes. What I'm going to do is go through those holes and drill some pilot holes for the screws, and then put the screws in there. Try to get them in the center of those holes. Not always easy to do. Actually, I am going to do something to help me get it better. I do have a technique for this. The drill bit tends to, as it spins, to move a little bit to where when I'm trying to get it in the center of the hole, it goes off to the side. So come time to put the screw in, sometimes they're right up against the side of the bracket and they're a lot harder to twist. Like the first 2, the bracket might be able to move a little bit. By the time I get to the last one, then it's a lot tighter and it can't move, and so it's hard to put that screw in. It's not just the wood, but you're fighting against metal. So I have a punch, and I'm going to put this punch in the middle of the hole, and I have a cute little hammer, but it's perfect for putting the, in a tight spaces.
It's my hammer. I have a hammer fetish.
She every time we go to the store, she wants to buy a new hammer. Weird, I know, but she loves them. And this is a special one. I have to agree. It's got a lot of uses.
You
when you just
laughed
need...
at me when I bought it.
Well, it is funny, right? The first time you saw it, you thought it was funny. But there are a lot of, like this, for instance. I could do a big hammer, but this is so much easier because I don't need to hit it hard. I don't need to hit it heavy. I just need to tap it. And this fits. It's easy to use. It doesn't wear me out. It works really well. So I'm going to go into the center of those holes where the screws are supposed to go in and tap this enough times to get the a dent, and then I can put the bit in there and it's not going to roll away on me, and I'll be able to put drill the hole where I need the screw, to the pilot hole for the screw. Okay, my little dents are put in place, and let's see if I can get it to drill a hole where I want it to drill the hole. Better. The 3 holes are drilled. Now we get the screws. I actually purchased screws that are called cabinet screws. Different kind of threading. They tend to have a good bite. They're a little rougher. They're not smooth. I don't know metal-wise exactly what they are, but it's it's black, which is different than a lot of screws. So somehow they're better for cabinets. Folks who are professional cabinet putter-uppers, installers, or makers probably have a better explanation as to why these screws are better. Maybe they're not. Maybe they don't think they are, but they're labeled that way. That's how they're sold. And for what I'm doing here, they work good. So they're not long. They're not as thick or as long as what our countertop is thick. So they're not going to come dimpling out the top, which is not a good thing. But they're long enough to get a good bite and to hold the countertop down. Now if I had just a little electric screwdriver, which I don't have, everything I have is large, I would be able to put it in there and do this automatically, but I'm doing it the manual way. But they're short, they're quick, they're not bad. First one in, and that's how they'll all go. I'll get the rest of them in. Next step is to fasten the backside down. So when I get ready to do that, I will get the video out again and show how I'm doing that. Gonna start getting the holes ready for fastening the cabinet down. What we're doing is not standard from everything I've read and seen. We're looking at our situation here and recognizing that we don't know any other way to do it. When we're looking at what we have to work with, where we have to work into, I'm sure that there are more elegant techniques that professional installers do. We got to work with what we got. And so in the spirit of homesteading, of taking what we do have, knowing what we need to accomplish, finding a solution that's going to do that. So typically you don't drill a hole through your counter to fasten it down. But we want them fastened down. That's going to keep them level. It's going to keep them in place. So very crucial that we do that. So I showed under the counter where we put one of the 2x2 braces, and we have braces going across and on the sides so that they're level and they are sturdy into the walls, into the studs, and so we're able to fasten into them from the top, and the countertop can sit down on them nice and sturdy. What I'm going to start with is I'm going to drill a pilot hole so that the screws I'm using don't have to tear the wood up. It's a little bit smaller than the screw diameter that I'm going to use, so the screw can go in there. I'm going to drill these holes, these pilot holes, where I want to put the screws. Once these are done, then I'm going to get, well, I'll show you what I'm doing. I'm explaining it now, but I'll show you as we do it. I'm going to get a different bit that actually is going to be larger than the head of the screw, and it's going to drill down far enough that the screw head can hide. I mean, there's names for this, but the point is that we want the screw to be below the surface of the countertop. And then we have some putty that we're going to put over that, which will be able to smooth out, so there'll be little dimples, but we're going to put them close enough to the back that we're also putting a we're still deciding what it is, but you always have some kind of a backsplash on there. So whatever we decide to put on there is most likely going to cover up these holes anyway, so they're going to be hidden, so they won't be a problem. Some of them may have to be a little further out from the wall. Not happy about that, but if that's the case, then they may show a little bit. But it's going to be minor. It's ours. We're trying to live with it. It's not like we're selling it to somebody else, so we're happy about it. We've talked about it. We've agreed. In fact, in large part, this was Rinda's idea. This was something she could visualize. It was something she was comfortable with, and she knew that she could repeat it. If I wasn't here to do it, it's something that she could do. So that's how we're going to do it. So I'm going to load this in, drill the holes, and I'll, when that's finished, then we'll do what's called the countersink holes, and then we'll add the screws. There are the pilot holes. This is a countersink bit. For those of you who haven't seen them before, get a real good close-up of that so you can kind of get an idea what you're looking at. It doesn't have to go deep, just got to make enough of an indentation that the screw can go in there. Now, because if I put this into the drill, I got to get the drill up really close to it, and as you see, I'm close to the wall, so the drill, that's what it's called, is having to tip over a bit, so this is not going to be going in straight. If I put it on the end of this and put this in the drill, then I can get a better angle, a little straighter angle with this to go in, so it'll make a better hole. Or a better, in this case, indentation, so that I can countersink. Counter, right? It has nothing to do with countertops. It's like counter is an opposite, but to sink it in so that the screw hides from where we're trying to be. Let me show you what the holes look like, the pilot holes, and then I'll show you what the countersink hole looks like. I haven't even wiped the sawdust away, so there's the little pilot hole. It goes through the wood so that the screw will be able to go in there easy. Next, I'm going to countersink right there, and the head will be able to fit and go out of sight. Countersinking is done. Let me put this countersink bit away, and I'll show you the holes. So, can you see the countersink, how it sinks on down? Let me get up close, kind of get the dimensions on that. That's what that looks like. Moment of truth. Does this really work? Oh, by the way, this is totally wrong, I'm sure. I'm using deck screws. I like it because of the type of head. They drive easy, they remove easy. I've just grown accustomed to them. So it holds. That's what counts. set good. It's holding down good. You can see the hole, and if you look in there, you see the screws. I'll let you see these others. Here's the real test with this end here, with this in place. I'm liking the level on this. This end was up a little bit because there's maybe a slight warpage. Not sure what was originating so that it wasn't totally level. But by putting these screws in to these braces here that we had that were level with everything, then it's pulled the counter down nice and tight, exactly like we wanted it. So I'm going to finish putting the screws into the rest of these countersink holes, and I've got chores to go take care of after that. So this part's done. Next step is to get the arms that come out. Let me get this, show you. They're going to come out here, the one on this side, and then the one on that end that goes over there. Now, just so that you know, I'm going to have to pull that cabinet out, get it out of the way so that I can actually have room to put the biscuits in place and to fit the two pieces together and then to hold them tight. But I'll show you that process. Those of you who haven't done biscuit joinery before, you'll be able to see how I do it. I happen to have the gadget for doing biscuit joinery. If you don't have that, then borrowing one is probably a good choice, but it helps a lot. It's probably the easiest way to join these together. It's a fairly decent joint. If you have other options that are better, by all means take them. This is the one that's available to me, so it's the one I'm using. It's going to do a great job. It's just a short piece. It's being held up by the cabinets for the most part, so I just need it to hold together and maintain a good joint. Kind of excited. The next thing I'm going to do is a pretty exciting thing to do. I want you to watch what happens. I'm not going to finish this part. Rhonda needs to be here because she needs it positioned the way that she wants it positioned. But we explained in another video, and you saw in another video from that we were cutting out the template that came with the sink, that from all the descriptions, we read the instructions, that's what we were supposed to use for mounting this sink top mount, like we're going to mount, instead of under the countertop like some can be. That they say get an installer to do. Well, we didn't want to do that with or without an installer, so we plan on doing it on top. So we looked at the instructions, cut it out. When we set the template over this, it wouldn't fit all the way down, which meant the sink wouldn't sit all the way into the hole that we would have cut. And then we got to thinking and looking, and we said, wait a minute. This thing is rectangular. It's not odd shaped like this sink is. So the hole we need to cut out really to fit and work for this is rectangular. So we went to the website for the company that provides these and read their instructions, different instructions than what came in the box with the sink. And they said, set the sink on, draw around it, measure in 3/8. I need to go back and look what it is, and then make a line there, and that's your cutout line. You set the sink in that way, the lip is going to hang over the edges of your cut and hold it up. And then these are used for fastening it, that we have some little gadgets with it to clip into these and then set up against the underside of the countertop to hold it down. That's how we're going to do it.
All right, we just worked very diligently to get this in the exact spot, even this way and this way. We're drawing around it right now. The sink is completely even. you know, rectangle wise. And he's holding the pencil at the exact
same
angle all the way around. Sorry, it's a little hard for you to see right now.
So now we take it off, we measure. Now you're sure it's 5/16?
No, I want to do it more. I don't like just 5/16.
So we're saying a half.
I want to do a 1/2 inch because a 1/2 inch will go to here. If we need to adjust it, we can.
Let's try something here, just so that we are.
And we've been using this because that did really precise, and he could lock it into it.
No, we want to go till it starts the slope, right?
Yeah.
Comfortable with that?
Yeah. That's a 1/2 inch? See?
Yep.
I'm comfortable with a 1/2 inch, Jim.
Perfect on that one. It's perfect on that one.
Good. Okay. So a 1/2 inch.
It's just a tad over a 1/2 inch, but that's fine.
Right. I know. So we remove this now.
Yep.
So now we're going to go 1/2 inch inside of that circle that we just drew, and that is where we will drill. We're not going to drill tonight. We're going to sleep on it. That's what we have learned, is that we do something and then we sleep on it, or we think about it for a little while and make sure it's okay. So what I'm going to do is just fill this in, let them start drying so that I can sand them tomorrow. Is that all right?
Perfect.
They're so far back that I'm pretty sure that the piece of ceramic that I'm getting for the very back, it's gonna cover it up. You did a really nice job with them, Jim. Now, you okay with me just kind of leaving these like this and then we sand them down?
Yeah, we'll be sanding it down. I mean, get it as filled in as you can.
This is my little tool. It's been in my notions for sewing, and it's very precise. And so I can just put this here on this side and let you go from there. Did you tell him this video is for all the amateurs like us?
You know, I may not have made that real plain. But yeah. This isn't for the professionals. They would do it better. No doubt. Now that we've slept on our consideration of, I was going to say now that we've slept on the countertop, that wouldn't be right. But we did a wait and see how we feel about what we're trying to do, make certain we're not overlooking something with what we're going to do to the countertop next. And next is to cut out where the sink's going to fit. I'm going to be cutting it with this blade here. This is a brand new blade that we've purchased. It's a little stiffer than some of the blades that I've had. It's a heavier duty blade, so less likely to bend off and cause the beveling on the sides. So what I have here is, as you can see, a drill bit that's wide enough that when I drill this hole, this can fit into the hole so I can do the cutting. So that's what's going to be happening next. Is it looking good?
It is. You've done it now. What's the matter?
We got to take that off.
Oh, okay.
Explain that.
We had to stop because last night after we turned the camera off, we realized something and we need to show you.
And in our eagerness to do the job, we were taking off without doing what we know we needed to undo. We measured these lines and then we looked at the braces we had in there and realized that where the braces are, we're going to be trying to cut through them with the saw.
This brace, wait, let me do it.
There's 3 braces.
That brace, this brace, and then another brace on the other side. See that? We've got to move this brace to this other side. And this brace, the one that's right here, we need to move to here. The one that's right here, we need to move to here. The one that's right here, we need to move to here. And you won't be able to see it when we're done.
This is part of what you have to do. When you're working on it, you got to pause, think, be sure you're not making a mistake. And what we thought was a good idea, I mean, I looked at it, I thought space-wise it was okay. But when I put the sink up here, guess what? The sink is bigger than I thought it was. So it takes up more space. So I was wrong.
We're just allowing you to not make mistakes by watching the mistakes that we make. That's okay.
Go slow, think it through, think a few steps ahead, be sure you're not hurting yourself. What does it look like underneath? Am I in a good spot?
Well, let's just see what it looks like. That's what it looks like.
Okay.
You are right next to the blue, but not on it.
Okay. Yes, it is.
No, it's not, because it's glued, but I want to put something here to hold it.
Okay.
You understand?
Can you just hold it from underneath?
I got it. I don't know. I got to move this out of my hand, so hold on.
I understand.
I'm going to crawl underneath and hold this up
Yes.
as it's dropping down.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to support it when these three sides are there, and then you're going to have to cut this fourth one without me out
Yes.
there. Okay.
Don't put your hand close to the blade.
No, sir.
Tell me when you're ready.
I'm not.
Tell me when you're ready.
Okay. Hello.
You're in the sink!
Look at that cool cutting board I got.
You got a great cutting board there.
Wow. Woohoo!
Okay, moment of truth.
Okay, wait.
Do you have to come out of there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait. I think I'm the sawdust pile.
Yeah, you are the sawdust pile.
Okay, so turn it around. Ouch. Hot dog. Oh my goodness. Hooray! Oh, golly.
Wow.
Oh, honey, that's beautiful.
Love it. Wow, everything's working so well.
Let me show it. I mean, of course it's gonna come back out and we're gonna sand and seal and everything, but it looks good all the way around. It matches, it's awesome.
Wow. Good fit. You did a good job.
You did a good job.
Okay.
This is where one of the screws were. That's one. It's so smooth and it just looks like another knot. Can't even see it.
If you know to look for it, you'll find it.